first two periods against the Stars, going in the 4-0 hole. But in the third, they would make a valiant effort to bring it within one goal. Stars would score the empty netter and win it 5-3. But if that third period is any indication of what tomorrow will be like, fans will be in for one heck of a game. Firebirds currently sit at 5th in the Pacific Division and are only 2 points away from the third position. A bit of a bottleneck there between Calgary, Ontario, San Jose, and the Firebirds, so every point counts. Puck drop tomorrow night at Acrisure Arena, set for 6:30. You won't want to miss it. That'll do it for sports. I'm Caitlin Kelly.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
We are 1 month away from the 37th Palm Springs International Film Festival, and the festival opens January 2nd. It runs through the 12th. It's expanding to the historic Plaza Theater in downtown Palm Springs this year. A stacked schedule of screenings and programs will bring some major guests, including Oscar Isaac, Kim Novak, Carol Connors, and more. And new this year, Gateway Films. It's a curated series celebrating the movies that inspired filmmakers and artists alike. For more information and for tickets, you can head to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Click on the Newsroom tab. We've got all the details. We'll be right back.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
Palm Desert Food and Wine has announced its 2026 Celebrity Chef lineup. The events will showcase Curtis Stone, Alex Garnaschelli, and Nancy Silverton, among others. They're also debuting the new Carte Blanche Grand Tasting Experience. It's a luxury tent offering curated fine wines and elevated bites. Palm Desert Food and Wine runs March 19th to the 22nd on El Paseo. Tickets are now on sale. You can head to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com, for more. Just click on the Newsroom tab. I believe I went to this event last year. We go to a few of the Food and Wine Fests, but this one is particularly amazing. The food is to die for.
Man, it looks so good. Alex Guarnaschelli, one of my favorite celebrity chefs. I've always wanted to go to a restaurant, Butter, in New York. It looks so good.
You got to stop by.
All right, should be a lot of fun. Can't wait for it. All right, that's going to do it for us here, but we're back for the news at 11, so please join us for that. Meantime, we're going to send things over to our Fred Rogan tonight. He's got the latest with the Rogan Report. Hey, Fred.
Hey, Mark.
All right, whatever you do not eat cement in Indian Wells. Do not curse on a mini golf course when in Long Beach. And never walk an elephant through the streets of San Francisco, unless it's on a leash. Welcome in, glad to be back. Thanks to Tim and Pablo for sitting in. All right, let's go. Last week, Supervisor Perez, along with Assemblyman Wallace and Gonzalez, announced they were working with the CHP to bump up patrols on Highway 74, trying to make that narrow, windy, pothole-filled road where seemingly two large semis are forced to use both lanes to make it up or down the mountain a little safer.
Well, some good news for the holiday at least. Supervisor Perez, State Assembly members Wallace and Jeff Gonzalez said they have worked with the CHP to secure additional enforcement. Now they're putting more officers on the road, and California Highway Patrol stepping up enforcement efforts ahead of busy holiday travel. Now with the addition of Tristan's bill, the hope is they can fix that tricky mountain road before another heartbreaking accident happens.
It's a very scary road under the best of circumstances. So I think really we have to look at eliminating trucks. The big trucks that go up there shouldn't be going up there. They're swerving across the lines. There's nothing a CHP officer is going to do or be able to do to stop that because there's no infraction. They're not breaking the law.
I think it's all about winding it. They got to just get dynamite in there, explode the hill, open it up. It's the only way you can make it safe.
Okay, all good points, but we give credit where credit is due, and this is a step toward making Highway 74 safer. There are people who have no choice but to drive it, and with the CHP patrolling, perhaps they'll feel a little less stress driving it. Unfortunately, that will not help Tristan Bourgeois and his family.
Going forward with the new monitoring that they are doing, and they're pulling semi-trucks over right now, starting last week, and deeming some of them inoperable, which is very important because the truck that killed my son should have been inoperable. So if DOT had pulled him over and seen that truck, it would have been stopped right then and not allowed to be on the road. So we're just very thankful that they are, monitoring and listening to us. And hopefully our whole goal is to save other lives. If another family had done this years ago, my son would be alive. And that did not happen. And that is okay because now we are doing it. And hopefully, we can save lives ourselves.
So that was Tristan's mom. She, her family, and Tristan are how we became aware that Highway 74 was so dangerous. And for the last year, since Tristan was killed on that road, we've been banging away trying to get the attention of people in charge to finally do something. Assemblyman Wallace and Gonzalez got Tristan's bill passed, and now we are seeing an uptick in patrolling in the mountain. We've been hard on Supervisor Perez. We give him some praise here. Praise is due. He's been at the forefront of the fight.
And it's been terrible in the sense of when you lose someone or someone gets struck because of high volumes, if you will, of big trucks coming at you at a faster pace than usual, potentially. It's alarming. But I want to just say thank you to CHP. CHP really came through. As soon as we found out, we got videos from different members of the community and obviously phone calls. We went ahead and touched base with CHP and they turned it around right away. At the end of the day, we also are waiting on a longer range study that we have discussed some time ago that will allow us to really figure out with Caltrans, because they're the ones that are actually conducting the study at our request, to really figure out what can be done, what measures should be taken when we talk about these trucks, when we talk about bicyclists, when we talk about runners that are going up or down that hill. People are worried about that. So I look forward to what we hear from that study, and if we need to put more safety measures, then we will.
So we want to thank Supervisor Perez, Assemblyman Gonzalez, and Wallace for turning words into action. But as Supervisor Perez said, the work is not done. Once the study comes back from Tristansville, we can really see if the rubber hits the road, no pun intended. It's a fact. We've reported it. Highway 74 was not made with huge semis in mind. The larger ones are not only dangerous, they rip up the road because they weigh too much for it. But the people of Valley Center and Pinyon Pines need supplies, a tightrope app that has not been addressed. It's sad that Tristan had to die to get the ball rolling. But that ball is rolling now, and let's hope it stops once Highway 74 is finally safer to drive. Contributors, Education and Sales Director Jerry Granata and Taxi Administrator Jill Marie Plaza. Okay, Jill, why does it take someone's death before anything gets done?
Unfortunately, I think that's the norm these days. It takes tragedy to initiate change. The good news in this instance is that the death has brought about a positive change. We just don't like that to happen, and I wish we would be more proactive. Jerry?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say the same thing. I'm always a big believer of proactive is much better than reactive. In this case, just because there hadn't been a death before this doesn't mean it wasn't dangerous. It was. And I'm glad that at least this is now being brought to attention.
Our contributor Paul on the program said the CHP can't do anything about the trucks because they're not breaking a law. Jerry, do you agree?
No, they are breaking the law. By crossing that line, they are breaking the law. Those roads were never meant for trucks like that. They can handle those hairpin turns. So, yes, they are breaking the law. Jill?
Well, I mean, they can't turn safely on those turns, but I've seen cars be just as reckless when it comes to how they drive down 74. I've been caught on it with cars that just have absolutely no sense of balance or where the lane is because of the speed. I just think we need to have more caution in how we're driving, and just take extra care and recognize this is a windy road. And if you're in a big vehicle, you have to use even greater levels of care, and you can't just fly, and that's a problem. Haste is making waste, and people are not taking the time to slow down.
It's not just the semis, but the cyclists and the way people drive. So how do you take a road that has so many issues, Jill, and make it safer?
Education, making solid penalties for issues that occur. The one going up by Cambria, going up that way, is horrid for exactly the same reason. The bicyclists ride on this, you're like, you as a car don't have any room to go. So maybe we say certain roads you can't have cyclists on. Maybe we make 74 a toll road, and the tolls go to pay for CHP monitoring to make sure everybody's legal. Jerry?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Sometimes Occam's razor fits. The simplest answer is the right one. This road was made for cars. Let's just keep it at cars.
All right. Check this. I was reading the Desert Sun about some seriously strange laws in California, and you're not going to believe some of the weird stuff that is technically illegal. In Los Angeles, you can get in trouble for washing your neighbor's car. In Carmel by the Sea, you need a permit just to wear high heels. That's crazy, right? Well. Right here in the Valley, in Indian Wells, you cannot even eat cement. Why you would, I'm not sure, but you can't unless a doctor prescribes it. An ordinance in the city prohibits inhaling, breathing, or drinking intoxicating cement, glue, adhesive, dope, or any similar materials. The only exception being if it was prescribed by a licensed doctor. And who would prescribe to eat cement? Someone had to put that law on the books. And why? Because someone at some time in Indian Wells probably tried it. Jerry, what's the strangest law you've ever heard of?
Well, when I was in the military, I was stationed on the East Coast, and Connecticut had a law on the books that a pickle is not considered a pickle unless it can bounce when dropped from a specific height. That is about the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Jill?
Well, no. Before Jill goes, what do you mean? How high did you have to hold a pickle to see if it would bounce?
I have no idea. Well, like you said, somebody had to have done this. There has to have been something, a law that was broken or something. And, I want to know as a sidebar, what is the wine pairing for concrete? I'm curious as to what that is.
No, that's a very good question. Jill, go ahead.
I'm sorry, this is silly. These laws are just silly. The one I kind of laughed the hardest at was no heels. Hello? Women wear heels all the time. I think I can figure out the cement one though, because it was attached to glue. And for a time there, we had a ton of teenagers sniffing glue and inhaling glue. And I suspect that's probably what it was connected to. And when that got cut off, other tangents found their way in to replace it.
Why do you think laws like this were put on the books in the first place, Jill?
Safety. People being stupid and somebody coming along said, I guess I have to nanny sit you on this because you're not using that brain that's in your head to think that, oh, it's not safe. Jerry?
Yeah, people did these things. That's why it's on. That's why we have on the box of a hairdryer, do not use in the shower. People are doing these things. So this is why they don't tell us about aliens.
All right, more news about e-bikes this week than I think ever before. Yesterday, Pablo told you about a voucher program for lower-income people that California pulled. How about this today? It's a huge deal, especially now that the holidays are here. Basically, Riverside County District Attorney's Office is serious about cracking down on reckless riding by kids, and they're not just going after the minors. They're looking at charging the parents as well. If a kid rides dangerously, causes serious harm, the parents could actually be hit with a felony charge for child endangerment, carries a maximum sentence of 6 years in state prison. DA is stressing that e-bikes are motorized vehicles, not toys. Parents need to make sure their kids are educated and geared up properly, or they could land in serious trouble. Jill, do you agree that parents should be responsible for their kids' actions in this situation?
To a degree, yes. It's like the moped when we were young, and my father would watch my sister go on the moped and do these really crazy movements. They need to train. Kids need to be responsible. If you can't be responsible when you get on the road, you don't hand them the keys. That's simple. Jerry?
Well, these kids are minors. So yes, the parents are responsible. If they are underage, the parent is definitely responsible. And that's not just my opinion. There's a California penal code about this that states that if you have a minor child that does something wrong, you are responsible.
E-bikes can go pretty fast, sometimes as fast as motorcycles. Should kids need stricter rules or training or an age limit to ride them, Jerry?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, if they're going to be as fast as some motorcycles, why don't they have a rules of the road? Why don't they take a test just like we do with a car? Maybe that education will actually push it over the top so that there'll be less accidents. Jill?
Yeah, I think you're right, Jerry. I agree. The challenge is, though, is reclassifying an e-bike into something like the moped classification or the Vespa classification. They're not as fast as motorcycles, but they still are a motorized vehicle that needs some kind of permit or passing a permit to be able to drive and show you can do it competently.
6 years in prison. I'll give you each 10 seconds for an e-bike infraction. Jill, too much or too little?
Way too much.
Too much?
You can hold parents accountable for so much, but let's face it, parents can't 100% of the time be responsible for 100% of the actions of their kids. I just think that's too high a burden on parents.
Jerry?
Well, that's the maximum amount. It doesn't say that they're all going to get that. And, it depends on the infraction.
All right. Parents, do not let your kids go crazy on e-bikes because the lights will go out and then you could be a good neighbor. Cape Palm Desert needs to find a dog walker for her furry family member who's got a recommendation. Rose Thousand Palms needs some new tires for an RX 350 Lexus SUV. Looking for a shop to get it done. Gloria Rancho Mirage looking for a handyman or woman with some small repairs. She lives in Mission Hills. Karina, Bermuda Dunes, needs some help from residents of Saddleback Apartments. Her son left keys and an AirPod case in the gym there. Anybody find them? Let her know.
It may be hot in the desert, but what you think may singe our ears, singe away. Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
So McMuffins are losing out to gas stations.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
All right, you got to hear this. The whole breakfast scene is getting flipped upside down. Turns out everybody is starting to ditch the usual fast food spots like McDonald's and their McMuffins. They're headed instead to gas stations for their morning meal. Gas stations now offering a much better value, stepping up their food quality with things like fresh donuts, chicken biscuits, making it easy to order on an app. And the classic fast food joints just cannot keep up with the prices or the convenience. It is a full-on breakfast battleground out there. Jill, used to be gas station food was kept for late night drunks. What do you think about the idea of going to them for your go-to breakfast?
Guilty. They're easy. Gas station food right now is actually pretty good, and it's not bad. And so if I'm at the gas station filling up my pump, or I just want to grab a quick coffee before I head to the office, it's fast and easy. Jerry?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, our lives are so busy now, and that's why places like Walmart and Target are one-stop shopping. It's easy. So yeah, and the thing about these gas stations too is they're not specified to stick to branding like something like McDonald's would. So they're free to, I've seen vegan offerings at gas stations. I'm celiac myself, so I'm gluten intolerant. So, fast food restaurants for me are kryptonite. So, I find a lot of fresh things available at gas stations. So I'll go there first.
All right, let me ask you this. You ever been to a gas station and they have one of those hot dog makers and they roll around and around on the hot dog thing and they look like they've been there for like 3 weeks? Yeah, and they're really crispy, and you don't really know what would happen if you ate it. My question to either one of you, and please be honest, have you ever tasted one of those hot dogs? Jerry, yes or no?
Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm celiac, so I can't eat it. So
okay.
No.
Okay, well that's an excuse. Jill, have you ever tasted one of those?
No, I actually am very picky about my hot dogs, so that is the last place I'd probably get one.
Do you think if either one of you bought one of those hot dogs, held it in your hand, it would be so hard you could use it as a weapon? Yes or no?
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Sure. I would use it as a weapon. I can't eat it, but I'll certainly hit somebody with it.
All right, good. Used to be a pretty good deal, but no more.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
So it seems like buying an electric vehicle is becoming less and less attractive. First, the tax breaks went away, and now you can't use the carpool lane if you're alone. As of yesterday, if you don't have the right amount of people in your electric car, you'll get almost a $500 ticket. Walter Clark joins us to give us an update. Walter, welcome to the program as always.
Delighted to be with you, as always. Fred?
EV's the topic tonight. What laws changed regarding your EV, and why did they change?
The laws that changed are the ones that the EV owners really liked the best. That is, in 1999, to encourage people to drive clean air vehicles, electric vehicles, the law allowed those drivers, those owners, to use the HOV lanes. Those are the carpool lanes, without any passengers.
Right.
So it was really attractive to get into LA when others couldn't. And also then in 2008, they started to offer tax credits to further incentivize people to buy these cars. And that was considerable benefit as well. Though California tried to extend these benefits, the Trump administration said no, and federal law preempts state law. And so we've lost those benefits, and things are different. So people now who have electric vehicles, who have the benefit of using this lane for multiple passengers, have to have a passenger. They can't just use it on their own, and no more tax credits. So
that blows, Walter. That blows. That blows, Walter. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like it.
Here's the important thing to know, though. If you get caught, Fred, and I'm sure you won't, there are significant differences between the offenses that may be charged. First of all, it's only an infraction. An infraction is an offense for which you may not be put in jail, and you don't have a right to a jury trial, but you can be fined. And typically, if you're caught and the officer gives you a citation, he has a discretion to give you one of two. One would just be a fine. The other is significant because if you're cited as a moving violation, that goes on your record, and the insurance rates go up, insurance premiums get steep. And if you have 4 within a year, you will have a suspended license. You won't be able to drive. So it's important to avoid the moving violation. And the way they use their discretion is, for instance, if you're driving across those double lines, they would probably consider that a moving violation. Or if you have, as many had, dummies in their cars that they have put a mannequin in the front seat to make it look like you have a passenger, I think you're more likely to get cited with the moving violation in that situation.
See, I got to tell you something. You bring that up, and I think it's really sad because I was in the carpool lane and I had my friend with me, and they pulled me over, and they said,
"Why?
That's a dummy." And I went, "No, it's a human being." "No, that guy's stupid. He's a dummy." Just telling you, Walter, that happened to me one time.
Well, I think you've seen some pictures of what that looks like, too. Some of the attempts at making a mannequin look like a person are pretty sad.
Yeah. All right, listen, Walter, I'm glad you came on. I really think you're kind of a buzzkill tonight, though. I mean, I'm very upset about this. I'm just being honest.
Take a look at some of those pictures. I sent a few of the people with mannequins. They're hilarious.
I know they are. All right. Walter, thank you for the info. We'll talk to you next week.
Delighted, Fred. Have a wonderful holiday season. Bye.
Riddle me with this when we return.
Hey, riddle me this. What question can you never answer yes to?
Some things work, some things don't. How do we know what's what unless you tell us? Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
What question can you never answer yes to? Are you asleep yet?
All right, so you know I check emails during the program. Julian Alvarez, gas station hot dogs is the subject matter. I'm not above eating gas station hot dogs. Get mustard and a cardiologist to go along with it. We look forward to this next.